and this is one of them. How do I know that? Well, I built a very successful internet company that went public in 1999. Yay, took about 10 years off my life. And although it filled up my bank account, it didn't make me happy. So then I thought, oh, I'm going to start my own business. Started a consulting company, grew it to just under 10 million in annual sales. Still wasn't happy. And I wasn't happy because I was making money and I was selling and doing marketing, but I wasn't making a difference. So in 2008, I sold that business and started over. And I started the equivalent of a purposeful Shark Tank. Is the only way I can describe it. It's called Share on Purpose, and it's a portfolio of companies. We cultivate companies that make the world better and of course make money. Currently, for the first time ever, all of our brands are profitable, which is the first time that's ever happened, which is making me very happy because I've put a lot of money into this. And then we also have a speculator fund where, leveraging our profits, we invest outside of the portfolio. So these are our 4 concepts. Succeed on Purpose was the first one, followed by Ignite on Purpose, followed by Promote on Purpose, and then Talent on Purpose. And then our latest concept is ShiftCo. And ShiftCo was started to help entrepreneurs. It's a membership community, but it's very much business growth focused, both in the training and the techniques. And you're going to see one of those very powerful techniques today. Now, there will be another team member who will be joining me shortly, and I'll introduce her when we get to that spot, and she'll be providing a couple of recommendations as well. But the methodology that I'm going to teach you could be titled How I Lost a Lot of Money Trying to Grow a Conscious Business, because the traditional marketing techniques don't work. And I don't believe they work for any business anymore. But they're working, I think they're working less and less for most businesses. The cost of acquisition of customers has gone way up because marketing is just not effective anymore. But if you're a conscious business, and what that basically means is you're trying to make the world better, you're trying to do business in a more authentic way, then those kind of lead funnels and lead magnets and sales pages and all of that kind of stuff, they don't work. Automating your sales campaigns, making it so somebody signs up for a lead magnet and then they get 7 emails from you with a promotion in it. Those things don't work. And when I started Succeed on Purpose, you can see this, one of my most well-known quotes is earn from your mistakes. Don't just learn from your mistakes. I had been a successful marketer. I mean, I had built my career. I was known for growing companies really quickly, taking them public, selling them. I mean, I was known, like people hired me, Holy Guacamole, Target, they hired me to grow their companies. And then I started this business that was really coming from my soul called Succeed on Purpose. And all of those techniques didn't work. And I was like, what? My billboard didn't work. My direct mail campaign didn't work. My email campaign didn't work. My digital ads didn't work. And here I was, this business that meant the world to me because I was trying to do good in the world, didn't grow the way I wanted it to grow. And that's when I basically kind of started over. And what you're going to learn today, first of all, is what we call FD squared. FD squared is at the heart of the Conscious Business Growth Platform. There are 3 things you have to master to grow a conscious business of any size. 3. Fit, differentiation, and demand. And that's going to get your business growing. Last week, we covered differentiation. If you were here for that free training, you saw the power of that methodology. If you weren't, you can go to our YouTube page and it's out there. That's one of the methodologies that's core to growing a conscious business. Today, we're going to spend 45 minutes just on demand generation, authentic demand generation. I'm going to talk about how it works, and I'm going to talk about how to make it work for you. But let's start with FD squared. So ShiftCo is based on what's called the Conscious Business Growth Platform. And each of these pretty little circles here is a business phase. And what gets your business to one phase is not what gets it to the second phase. So for example, if you're just starting, you'd like to replace your income. To replace your income, you actually need to get your business above $10,000 a month. Most people don't realize that. They're like, well, my income used to be $60,000 or $80,000 a year. You know, I need to make $5,000 to $6,000 a month. No, you don't, because with taxes, you need to get your business above $10,000 a month. So at minimum, we want our members to be in the shape phase. So if you're in launch, within 1 to 2 years of you joining ShiftCo, we expect and will work like crazy for you to get your business in shape. And shape is 10 to 30,000 a month. You can become financially free if you're in shape. If you're in shape, we want you to be in build in 1 to 2 years. And that's our commitment to you, is that you're going to move through these phases. Now, here's where FT squared comes in. The only thing, each one of these little circles, you have to learn different things. But the only thing all 6 of these business phases have in common, if you're a conscious business trying to make money and make the world better, is FD squared. What is FD squared? It's 3 things that you have to master. Fit is building a business that fits you naturally. We covered that in February, and there's a training program on our YouTube page you can check out about that. You know, and this is building a business that you actually love, that you can't wait to get up every day. You go to bed thinking about it because you're so passionate. You wake up thinking about it because you're so passionate, and you were just born to do this. That's fit. And that is essential in a conscious business, because if the business doesn't fit who you are, your potential customers are going to smell it, they're going to feel it, and they're not going to want to buy from you. So fit is what makes your business fulfilling. Second is differentiation. Again, both of these are lessons that you can see on our YouTube page that we offer for free training. Differentiation makes your business simple. And then today we're going to dig into demand generation. And what authentic demand is, it's the key to freedom. It's how I can build all of these companies and have them grow and be prosperous, is through authentic demand generation. I mastered these 3 things, and I can get a business up and get it profitable in relatively short order because I've mastered these 3 things. And you can too. Today, we're going to isolate demand generation, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And I'm going to show you that if you can get fit and differentiation down and you add in demand generation, your business will grow from whatever phase that you're at to the next phase. Okay, so what is demand generation? Well, first of all, demand generation is not marketing. You don't want to do marketing. You don't want to invest in marketing. What you want is demand. Demand is where people want to buy from you. Think about the difference. Marketing is trying to get someone to buy. Demand generation is people wanting to buy. So just think about that. People wanting to attend, people wanting to see what you're up to. They're asking you for the price. They're asking you for a proposal. That's what demand generation is. It is not marketing. And this idea that you can market your way to success or even network your way to success is a fallacy. What you want is people coming to you. And demand generation has been around for a while. I'm going to go through the traditional form of it, and then we're going to overlay this really cool authentic methodology to it. But demand generation is people coming to you and they want to buy from you. So just put that in your mind. Now, the concept of demand generation has been around for about 30 years. I mastered this very early in my professional career. And as a result of that, I was known for growing companies. So I'm going to give you the non-authentic version of it, and then I'm going to show you the authentic version of it. And by the way, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat, and throughout this, I'll be stopping and taking those questions. So starting first with what is demand generation. So this is where you've heard the term funnels. It came from demand generation. Funnels is first making sure that there are more people aware that you exist. That's it. This is the biggest mistake that all entrepreneurs, authentic and not, make, is you do not have enough people aware that your business exists. It's the first thing you've got to address. And you don't need 50 people aware. You need 1,000 or more people to be aware that you exist. that your business exists, who you are and what you offer. You need at least 1,000 people to be aware that you exist. So that's a big number. And, it might be a little daunting. When I first started training entrepreneurs in 2009, people were like, what, 1,000 people? And I'm like, it's a piece of cake. We can do this in a month. So don't let that freak you out, because I'm going to show you exactly how you can do activities that you like to do that will grow that awareness. But that's step number one. You need way more people to be aware that you exist. Step number two is they need to be interested in what you have to offer to say. Now, this is where differentiation, if you attended that program, this is where differentiation makes this whole thing easier. When you are speaking in a differentiated way, you're speaking about what the buyer cares about, they will be interested. And then all you've got to do is make sure that they're aware. And if you're speaking about their problems, they'll become aware and interested. Step three, they need to actually want, and I say both need and want. That's one of the things we cover in differentiation, is need and want. They need to actually want what you have to say. And then at some point, they need to be willing and able to take action on their desire. So the irony is, most people spend all their time worrying about step number four. Step number four is the easiest. Step number one is where you need to focus. You don't need to worry about getting people to buy from you. What you've got to learn how to do is to make more people aware that you exist, and to speak to them about what you do in a way that is interesting. So you're not going to talk about how great you are. You're going to talk about the problems they have and how you solve those problems. That's how you go awareness to interest really quick. And then desire and action. Again, act is the easiest piece. So this concept of demand generation, again, it's been around for 30 years. I'm older than I looked. I'm way older than I look. I learned this 30 years ago from one of the masters. I mastered it. Boom, my career shot up, and then I became an entrepreneur. I could grow any company that I touched. I was known for it because I mastered this concept. Now, I start an authentic business. I try to do the same thing with all of these traditional techniques. It doesn't work. And I spent a year, I probably wasted $100,000 on different advertising campaigns and probably only had about $10,000 in revenue to show for it. Not a really good ROI. Well, what I learned is there is a more authentic way to do demand generation. And once I woke up, which was mid to late 2010, after spending over $100,000, wasting it, I said, okay, I'm going to stop doing this. I know there's got to be an easier way. I'm going to use my knowledge of demand generation, but I'm just going to do it and just try to serve people. That was my big idea, right? Is I'm going to use what I know about demand generation, but rather than trying to get, and I'm saying parentheses, get someone to buy, which is what a lot of people teach, I'm just going to serve people. Again, it sounds very altruistic, but it worked. This idea of following a demand generation, quote unquote, funnel, but just thinking about how do I serve people before they're ready to buy was a game changer. And that's where authentic demand generation was born. And I began to fine tune this methodology over the last 10 years now. And now it's rinse and repeat. So whereas demand generation, funnels, lead magnets, focus on getting you to buy, authentic demand generation serves you first. And I'm going to show you how to do that. You don't have to give your product away. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it today in this crash course. And this is the basis of what we teach in ShiftCo. So the first thing to do when we're moving from letting go of getting someone to buy and shifting over to authentically talking to them is we have to think about the relationship. Okay. We're building a relationship with the buyer. And to make that simpler, I mean, I had to really undo a lot of this old marketing stuff. I mean, it was really, really hard to untangle. And so this was like around 2011, 2012, I was starting to get, oh, wait a minute, this works if I do it this way. I started thinking about relationships and how they evolve. So in the beginning, when I meet somebody right now, if we're connected on LinkedIn, so hopefully you all are connecting with me on LinkedIn right now. we're going to be friends on LinkedIn. You are now aware that I exist, and I'm going to be aware that you exist. So that's like, the first base, if you will, in the relationship. I'm aware that you exist. I'm going to look at your profile because I care about what kind of business are you in. What do you do? How do you do it? And I'm going to basically consider us friends socially, not like friends you're going to, come to my wedding or bar mitzvah, but, friends, right? And then interested, this is where the magic is when you really master demand generation. When somebody is aware and interested, now they're actually following, right? So awareness is we're friends, right? So I'm aware that you exist, but I don't always follow. Certainly after some of the political things that happen, I don't always follow all of my friends, right? So follower means I really am interested in what you have to say. I might share it. Like if you've got a really great blog post and I think it's really cool and my community would like to hear it, I'm going to share it. Like I'm going to pay attention to what you're saying. And that right there is the rub, by the way. And I'm going to show you how to make that magic happen. Is now I'm actually following you. So these first two steps, this is where you got to master. You don't need to get anybody to buy. If you grow friends who follow, they will buy from you eventually. Desire is when they become a fan. For example, if you visit Succeed on Purpose, you're going to see a bunch of free tools on there. These are really impactful tools that we've developed over the last 12 years. They're free. We give them away for free. We give away free training. We give away these really cool assessments. Well, guess what? We have fans. Fans are friends. They follow Succeed on Purpose, but they've become a fan. That doesn't mean that they've purchased yet. But we get 40 to 50 leads a month of people sharing those free tools for us. They do the marketing for us, if you will. And they may not even bought, but they've gotten value from one of those tools. Shipco has several on their website as well. And these tools serve people. So when somebody becomes a fan, they're like, they're interested. They're like, wow, you got something going on here. I might not be ready to buy yet, but I'm a fan of your brand and I'm going to share your blog posts. I'm going to share your social media posts. I'm a fan of yours. And then act is if they're ready and they buy from you, and if they have a good experience, they become a fanatic. Now, I'm not going to focus too much on that today because believe it or not, that is the easiest part. The hardest part is awareness and interest. And that's the bulk of what we're going to focus on today. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to get rid of the visual of a funnel. So we're going to take this idea of building relationships and we're going to think about it in a new way. We're not going to think about it like a funnel, right? So we're going to think about it as a series of steps in building a relationship. So when people are aware, they're friends. They like your LinkedIn page or their contact with you on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, pick whatever. Clubhouse, I'm kind of getting into that lately. It's kind of cool. But friends, we're just aware that each other exists. So I'm friends with people on Clubhouse, I don't know, 100, 200, something like that. I'm aware that they exist, right? I've got 6,000 or 7,000 connections on Facebook, 4,000 or 5,000 on Facebook, 6,000 or 7,000. We're just friends. We're just aware. But there's a subgroup of people that I actually follow their companies. I share their content. Many of them are Shipco members because I'm interested in their business. And they might be on a list. They're sharing the content, but they're aware and interested. These two steps, mastering these two steps is really where the power is. And then desire and act is quite honestly the easy part. So how do we build relationships? How do we grow awareness and interest, friends who follow in a very authentic way? 3 simple steps. It is this easy. Remember, we're just going to focus on these first 2 right here, because you master these 2 steps, you will never struggle with revenue. I promise. If you master these 2 steps. So it's 3 things. 1, where are they? Here's the rub. You need 1,000 or more people to be aware that you exist, not 50, not 100. Look at your contacts on your social page or wherever you're, putting things out. How many people are aware that you exist? How many of those do you have? We need 1,000 or more for this to really generate, 1,000 or more. So if you're just posting on your page, or you're just sending information to the people you know, you're not going to grow awareness because they already are aware. What you've got to do is figure out, what groups are they in? What podcasts are they listening to? What speeches are they going to? What Zoom classes are they going to? You've got to go where they are. That's the rub, is you can't just be sitting there doing your stuff on your page. You have to reach them where they are, because that's where they're tuned in. Are they on Clubhouse? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they in a women's club? Are they in a sustainability, meetup? Where are they? And you've got to really figure that out. And that's where the hard work is that step one, is you can't sit there and post things, because you're not going to grow awareness. All of the people that you're posting to on your page, or in a meetup, or wherever you're marketing yourself, they're already aware. So you've got to get outside of your comfort zone, and you've got to go where they are. And I'm going to give you a method to do that. Secondly, is you've got to do activities. And I believe in doing this every single day. If you follow me on Facebook or LinkedIn, you're going to see me post something almost every single day. But you're also going to see me post things in groups, not just on my page. I'm going to be posting them in groups as well. So these first two steps are where the rubber meets the road. Where are they, and what activities you're going to do? Step number 3 is, how will you grow the relationship? I'm going to give you techniques for all 3 of these. And my teammate, who's one of our SHIFCO leaders, she also leads the Seattle hub for us, is going to share some of her tips as well. And I'll let her introduce herself when we get to that piece. So going through these 3 steps, it's literally this simple. The hard part is getting out of your comfort zone, A, and B, doing something every single day, these activities, and doing these activities where your target market is. So let's go through all 3 steps, starting first with channels. Where are they? I group my channels in 3 buckets just to make it easy. Priority channels are the ones I do every single day. So I have multiple priority channels. Most of them are social podcasts. I speak on podcasts. I speak on a regular basis. I've got a meetup group. I'm now on Clubhouse, and I'm in these channels every single day, and I've got time dedicated to doing that. Partner channels. SHIFCO is a partner channel. Our members collaborate and share leads with each other. We've got co-ops and collectives that do that, and they do that in the hubs as well. So partner channels are where we collaborate together. You know how to do branding. I know how to do social media. We're going to collaborate, and that's a partner channel. And then paid is the last thing. I rarely recommend paid until your business is almost into shape. You really don't need it until you get into that shape phase. You can get there purely from another way. So this is the channels first. So priority are, where are they? What channels are they listening? Are they on podcasts? Are they in media groups? You got to know where they are. Remember, you have to go where they are. Partner, we're not going to focus on that a lot today, but you want to have a couple of partner channels, and then paid. So second is activities. Activities are things you love to do, right? So for example, if you don't like to speak, you don't have to speak. If you don't like social media, don't do social media. Figure out the activities that you like. I'm going to give you about 30 today, but there's 300 different activities that you can do. I'm going to group them together, but you want to figure out the activities that you really like. And I'm going to put them in these simple little groups, what I call activity groups, so you can figure out what you like. And then you just add more of those activities. Now, the key is you're going to only do the ones you like. So I don't like live networking. COVID didn't disrupt that part of me. And David, I know at the beginning we were talking about, you love to do live networking, and the lockdown really messed with you. I personally don't like that, but I do a ton of virtual networking, both on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm active in a lot of groups. I've got my meetup, and I like that type of networking. So I'm not going to do live networking. In fact, you got to drag me to a live networking event because I just don't enjoy it. It just doesn't feel good to me. So that's an example of, I know myself, you know yourself. Follow the activities that you love to do. The more fun it is, the less it will feel like work. And the less it feels like work, the better results you'll have for two reasons. A, you'll do it, but B, your target market will sense that you're enjoying it and they'll get turned on by that. So let's go through some examples. So BST, I always start with BST. Any business I start with what I call BST. And I approach people I know and say, hey, I want to run something by you. What do you think of this idea? That's where I start every single business. That's where ShiftCo started. And ShiftCo is already in the shape phase. We're growing like crazy. And I just started with a handful of people that I know and said, I've got this idea. What do you think about it? Oh, I'm in. When can I sign up? And then, so approaching contexts are people you already know that might be interested. You're not going to pitch them. You're just going to basically share with them what you're up to. Free and discount trials. So when we started ShiftCo, we had a co-founder program that allowed people as a discount. So that's a great thing. Flyer leave behinds. Every business that I have a stack of cards. I haven't gotten to use them very much. And anywhere I go, I leave a little leave behind card. It's like a 4x6 card with a quote on it, just a quote and my website. No discount, none of that. It's just basically, it'll say earn from your mistakes, succeedonpurpose.com. It'll be nice and pretty, but I leave those everywhere I go. If I go to the grocery store, I leave it in the basket. If I go to Starbucks, I leave it on the counter. Everywhere I go, I leave those. Those are, examples of stuff to do when you get started. Several of you are a lot further along, but I just kind of want to walk through this. Relationship activities, live networking. If you're an extrovert, it's going to come back probably by summer. We're actually talking with our Seattle team about planning a Seattle event in June. If the cases are down, it's going to come back. But if you can't do that, there are millions of LinkedIn and Facebook groups where you can do networking, not the spammy kind, but I mean millions of LinkedIn and Facebook groups where you can network. And Clubhouse, if you haven't checked that out, check it out. It's a different type of networking, but man, there's a lot of business that's being transacted in all of these places. Referral activities, ask for referrals, give referral discounts. Educational, I personally love them. Blog posts, webinars, tools. This is an example of an activity. I love to teach. I am a born teacher. So guess what? One of the ways that I grow awareness is by doing webinars and tools. Digital social, if you like it, do it. If you don't, don't. One of our companies, Succeed on Purpose, has almost 30,000 followers on Facebook. And all we ever did was daily posts, inspirational posts. That's it. 30,000 followers. And all we've ever done are these inspirational activities. And then, of course, if you like to speak, that's a great option as well. So this is just an example to get you started. We're going to give you a ton more examples here, but you're going to start with these first. This is what I call the low-hanging fruit. And then you can eventually get to partner, and you can eventually get to paid when your business is in shape. But if you master these activities, and Teresa and I are going to walk you through how to do it, your business will grow. So Teresa, I know you're with us. And before we get into the how you do it, I've been educating everybody, as you know, on what demand generation is and why it works. And you're one of my all-time favorite business leaders that are out there. And I'd love for you to introduce yourself, because you're going to help me give some examples here of how to actually do demand generation. Teresa, are you with me? Teresa, are you there? Can you hear me? Are you on mute there, Teresa? Are you there?
I am here.
Awesome. So I've been, as you know, educating everybody on what demand generation is, and we're getting to the point where we're going to go through the how that you're a master of. And I've bragged a little bit about, I've recommended you to clients. They absolutely love working with you. You're such a great servant leader. I'd love for you to introduce yourself, and then we're going to give them lots of ideas on how to do authentic demand.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you so much, Terry. And I apologize for being late. I was having some technical difficulties. My name is Teresa Warrenstaff. I'm a collaborative leadership advisor. I help people find their purpose and live from their zone of genius so that their life is fulfilling and has meaning. Leaders are every single one of us. We all have influence over people every single day. So it's vital that we live purposeful and intentional.
Awesome. So Teresa, sorry, I took a sip of something. It was kind of choking there. So these are some of the basic activities. Again, we're going to go through lots and lots of examples, but I want everybody to just imagine for a second, you know, which one of these activities do you think you like, right? So just pick one, just for starters. And we're not going to worry about the partners or the paid right now. We're just going to focus with demand generation. So I'm going to select activities I enjoy. Arthur Ashe said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. That's what we're going to start with. And literally, when I was telling you my story about succeed on purpose, that's what happened. Is like, okay, I spent $100,000 on ads. It didn't work. I got to start over. I'm going to just serve my target market. So I started where I was. I used what I had and I do what I can. And I said, you know what, I like to speak. And so I started speaking around Dallas, Fort Worth, and then beyond that, and boom, it worked. So I knew that worked. I started doing radio interviews and podcasts. Boom, that worked. Now there's a reason why it worked. And that's the sentence at the top. So when I was speaking and when I was doing podcasts, I wasn't talking about me. What I was doing is giving them a viable solution, a technique, a method, just like I'm doing here today. So you've got to balance the activities you enjoy, but you've got to dial in your headset. Everything that you do is about serving the buyer before they buy, serving the buyer before they buy. You're not going to talk about yourself. You're not going to talk about how great you are. You are going to talk about their problems and how you solve those problems. And that's basically what you're going to do. So here's some examples. Awareness. We're friends. So you like my LinkedIn page, or we connect on LinkedIn, you like my Facebook page. Why? Because there's inspirational content on there. I meet you in a meetup group. That's friend, follower, which we're going to focus on just these two. Now you've registered on my website. You're getting my blog. You're attending this webinar. You're taking a quiz or coming to hear you speak. Those are the first two steps that Teresa and I are going to brainstorm on, because those are the two most important steps that you're going to do. So remember, what we're doing here is we're building relationships with people. We're not trying to get anyone to buy. So we're focused on friends who follow. And everything that we do is about that aspect. So what you're going to do is you're going to say to yourself, okay, I know what activities I like. Where's my buyer? What LinkedIn groups are they on? What Facebook groups are they in? What podcasts have they listened to that I could get on? What are they reading? Remember, we have to go to them. Secondly, what do I have? Start where you are, do what you can, use what you have. What do I have that I could share that will help them? Is it an ebook? Is it a webinar? Is it a training program? Is it a speech that you've got? Is it a tip that you can really do something with? And we're going to talk about all sorts of different formats, and Teresa and I are going to brainstorm with you, but you got to think about, what do I have that will help them, right? So I'm not trying to get them to buy. I'm going into this with this pure intent of, I just want to serve them. Now, this is my mantra. How can I serve them until they are ready to buy? So I go into every one of those exchanges, not trying to get anyone to buy, but with this pure intent, I'm going to serve you. And when you're ready to buy, you're going to buy from me, or you're going to buy from someone I recommend, or something like that. That's how I go into it. But I'm not trying to get someone to buy. That sounds so freaking obvious, but so many people miss it because we're all trying to grow our business, that we do these with an intention of getting someone to buy. That's the hardest part. I know for me, I had to completely unwind all of my 3 decades of training of getting people to buy. And I had to go from this pure intent. I'm going to serve you until you are ready to buy. And when you're ready to buy, I'm here. So let's go through some examples. So I'm going to start with Facebook and LinkedIn. So my ShiftCo's target market is entrepreneurs. And so I write blogs for entrepreneurs. ShiftCo members write blogs. We post them on our website to give their brands exposure. So notice that when I share this blog, so this one was about how to achieve success without goals. This is one of our top performing blogs. I don't basically say, look how great we are. Look at this great post. What I say is, do you want more success? Maybe the barrier isn't what you think. You see, this is about them, right? It's not about me and my great ideas. I'm speaking to their problem. Do you want more success? Maybe the barrier isn't what you think. So everything that I post, but unless I forget, because sometimes I do, I fall into those bad habits, is about them and their, their problem. Here's an example for it's hard to beat a person who never gets up. This post on our Facebook page did really well as well, because it speaks to the target market. It speaks about what they care about, what they want. Here's another example that ShiftCo has shared. We share testimonies from our customers. And again, we're not saying, look how great we are. What we're saying is, wow, thanks, Kevin, for sharing these kind words. And to learn more about Kevin's business, visit his site. Now, what's the difference that these have in common is we're not talking about us. We are talking to our target market about what they care about. And when we share a testimony, we feature their business. So Teresa, I know you do this really, really well. You're truly a master of demand generation. What are some of the things that you do that helps you grow your friends on LinkedIn?
Well, I think the first thing is, and I'm reiterating what you just shared, Terry, it's about engaging with the people that are out there. Your first job as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is to let people know who you are. Show up your authentic self. Show all of those things within you that put you into the business you're in today. All those secret juices, all that beautiful hope and dreams are what will literally tractor beam people to you, because they'll feel your authenticity, they'll feel your heart, they'll know you're being genuine. And the key is to ride that line of serving and opening a door and allowing people to step in and be a little bit vulnerable. Our clients, the people we serve, have a challenge they want us to solve. And to do that, we must be safe and open to receive everything about them. We have to give them permission to be vulnerable and allow us to step in and solve their problem.
And when you do this, Teresa, when you're recording those videos and building those inspirational posts, are you thinking, oh, how can I get someone to notice and get more friends? What kind of questions are you asking yourself when you put them together? Because your content is like, it inspires me. So what kinds of things are you doing in your mind to prepare yourself to really do it from this pure intent?
Two things. I'm going to give you an answer that comes from, a lot of my content comes from meditation. What is it that is deep within me that comes up during meditation? Because I often find that in that quiet, still moment, those jewels show up. In the busyness of the day, there's a lot of space for new ideas and new information to show up. So if you don't meditate or you don't have some kind of a mindfulness practice, I highly recommend it. And secondly, I'm informed by what my clients tell me. I work with CEOs all the way down to customer service people and everybody in between. My criteria for a client is somebody who wants to change, somebody who wants to step into a new way of being. And so when they share with me, here are the problems I ran into, that tells me what may be present for others. And that's what I need to communicate. Again, safely, authentically, so that it invites people to step in.
Love that. Love that. And I do the same thing. Like before I post something, as silly as it sounds, you know, I'll, cause I get busy, and then I find myself just like posting it to post, and I'm like, go back up. And I'm like, what is this blog about? This blog is about, you know, really digging deeper and thinking about success differently. Well, I know that my target market wants to have more success. That's important to them. And so I want to make it be about them. And so I do the same thing, is I really get myself in that right frame of mind. Now, another way to think about this, you know, back when we could do this on a regular basis, where they were doing sampling in the grocery store. I mean, I love to go to the grocery store on Saturdays. It's the only time I like to go, because they were doing sampling. And, you know, free trials. Like rarely will I buy a software product if they don't have a free trial. It's kind of like that, but you don't have to actually give your product away. So here's some more examples. And then Teresa, I'm going to have you share a couple of those. And I encourage you to check these out. There's also some on Shifco as well. Is I ask myself the question, what does my buyer need before they buy a product or service similar to mine? Not, I'm doing this to get them to buy. And what my buyer needed in Succeed on Purpose is they needed to define their problem they needed solved. So Succeed on Purpose is a transformation business. We help people transform their business, careers, life, blah, blah, blah. So that means they're stuck. So we said, oh, well, what if we build a tool to help them define how are you stuck, right? So how are you stuck? Another thing they needed, if they're an entrepreneur, is they needed to know what type of business they're well suited to build. So that's what business persona is. If they're reinventing their career, they needed a way to figure out what type of career they're well suited to. So we built these tools that were very cost effective, didn't hardly $250 to build these tools, and like a $5 a month fee for the platform that we use to build it. And boom. And now we get 40 to 50 leads a month of people coming to us, because here's the thing, this is not designed to get them to buy. It's designed to give them an insight about what their problem is or where they're stuck. It was done with that pure intent. Teresa, what are some of the tools that you've built, again, built from that pure intent of serving people before they buy? Because you've got some amazing ones.
Thank you. So one of the first things I did when we entered lockdown in the pandemic was to, I kept hearing from all of my clients and friends that they had never managed work from home. So they were really challenged to figure out, A, how to get themselves organized to work from home, and B, how to be there for a workforce that was scared, uncertain, in unfamiliar territory, to create security and safety. And so the first thing I did was put together an ebook, and I gave it away. It's floating around Amazon and Microsoft, and anybody who wanted it could take it so that they could be successful in this space that was brand new for everybody. The other thing is just thought ideas. It's getting on video. It's writing down ideas. It's, as you've shown so well, asking questions, provoking thought. Have you thought that your result might be from this belief or from this behavior or from this situation? But really allowing people to step in and start to think from their own life. Who am I? What do I need? And where do I want to go? Because often people are on automatic and just responding. So anything that provokes thought, whether it's an ebook, a video. I love videos. Here's why. Because you get to see me. You get to say, oh, I kind of like her. She's interesting, a little quirky and weird, but she's interesting. And you I don't hold back. You get all of me when I present and when I'm present with you. And the same with articles. So how can you serve? And it's not, words have, I'm very particular with words. It's not being in service, it's how you serve.
Exactly.
How you serve means you empower and enliven. Service is doing for others.
And I would encourage you to connect with Teresa, because she really has incredibly authentic content. And you can see that as an example. Now, another one is what Shiftco does. We give 3 to 4 hours a month of free training away to anybody that wants it. Our members can come. We've got several members on here that are getting a little refresh for demand generation. 3 to 4 a month. We bring in experts. And we do that because we want to help you grow your business. Whether you're a Shiftco member or not, we're going to help you grow your business. You're somehow going to be in our community. That's how we roll. And so, check all of our events, attend as many as you want. We're not going to ask you when you're going to join. If you want to join. And piece of cake. Give you a couple more examples. This is from one of my all-time favorite clients. They're a barbecue restaurant. And we were looking for a way during the pandemic, believe it or not, our client restaurant grew 14% in 2020 during COVID, 14% year-over-year growth in COVID when their restaurant doors could not be open. We pivoted. And so what we did is we started publishing recipes. We started publishing guidance. And this was hugely successful. Here are 8 steps for cooking melt-in-your-mouth ribs. And people loved it, man. They were sharing this all over the place. And then when we said, well, now we can do curbside, man, people were flocking in, because for those couple of weeks that we were on 100% lockdown, people were having these mouth-watering recipes and they were hungry for barbecue. As soon as that we posted that now we're open for the drive-in is open and the curbside is open, man, people were flocking and placing orders. It was unbelievable. Here's another one from one of our strategic partners. This is a quiz to calculate what does it cost to actually hire somebody. This is a very effective quiz that results resourcing. So again, it's not designed to get you to buy. It's designed to help you think through the cost of actually hiring somebody. Perfect examples. Now, the last thing that I would say, and I would love for you to comment on this as well, Teresa, is the system is the key. And this is where people go wrong, is they put in an active campaigns or what's the other big one that was popular for a while? I can't remember the name of it. It's a beast. It's like it's like having a Ferrari race car when you're just driving to the store. It's named
Infusionsoft or Key.
Infusionsoft. Yeah, exactly. That one. Right. And so they have these elaborate systems. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about by system is you do it every day. You've got your 10 posts set aside or your 10 graphics set aside. And on Mondays, I'm going to go into these groups and I'm going to do this. On Tuesdays, I'm going to speak on podcasts. On Thursdays, I'm going to do this. Like, you've systematized the activities. That's the key, is that you get into the routine of doing them and you check yourself to make sure they're automatic. Teresa, I think this is another thing that you do very well. How do you systematize this so A, it's authentic, and B, it actually happens?
I believe wholeheartedly that we were all here for a purpose and that we were here to do something unique to you. Nobody else has what you have. And your job is to tell everybody about it. And the importance of being available online every day cannot be understated. You must be available. Your job is to make people know you're there, to let them know that you can support them so that they get to know you. And you can't do that once a week or once a month or in this group or that group. It needs to be consistent.
Love it. Excellent. And I agree. The same thing with me. If you follow me on any of the social, you're going to see that I do a little something every day. I don't always do it on my public page. Sometimes I'm doing it in a group, but I do a little something every single day. Okay, in a minute, we're going to take some questions, and I'll tell you just a tad bit about Shipco. I want to remind you, every month we do 3 to 4 events. They're excellent. You're going to walk away learning something. You can sign up for as many as you would like. We'd love to get to know you better as we go. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.